On today's episode on WarpDriveM, I'm gonna show you how to replace and remove and replace the alternator on a BMW with a V8 and with an water-cooled alternator. First thing first, we have to remove some covers in order to have access to the other stuff from underneath. And in order to do that, we are going to use T25 in order to remove these 4 bolts or screws, this one, this one, this one and this one. And after we remove this cover, we have to take this one out. This is just twist like this. Okay, now we can take this out, lift a little bit and pull it from the other plastic cover. Now it's gone. This is just, like I said, twist. Let's see. This one is out as well. Now we have more room. In order to go deeper than this, we have to remove water hose, this one, and I think that's about it. In order to take this fan shroud out, we will have a T25 as well in here, and after that we can pull this off. Of course, we have to unplug this sensor, and we can remove after that the fan clutch fan, which is bolted on the water pump. You will have this plastic tab in here and won't go past this hose. In order to remove any hose from the BMW, you have to put a screwdriver right in there and lift this metal clamp, and you can remove that. And in order to remove the clutch fan, you will need a 32mm spanner and a special tool. Maybe you can use something else, but this is the tool in order to hold the water pump fixed in place, something like this. You have to put the end of the tool on 2 bolts from the water pump, and with a 32mm spanner you have to undo the bolt, that big bolt in there, but it's going to be a reverse thread. You have to tighten in order to undo that, something like this. Just a second, maybe I am going to be able to show you with one hand. Yep, now you can remove the tool now, and just a second. It's just like you have to tighten the bolt, it's going to come loose, something like this. See that? And now you can see the thread in there. Yep, so reverse thread, this tool and a 32mm spanner. But first we have to remove the water hose and the shroud fan. In order to remove the alternator, which is located right in here, this one is water cooled, and because of that we need to drain the water first. Under the car now, you have to remove this protective plastic shield, just a bunch of 8mm screws, and on the right side on the radiator you will have a cap. Let me try to film from the other side. Right in there. See that? That red dot? So let's do this. Not really sure if this is going to work, but let's give it a try. Oh, it's coming, something is coming. Back on top now, undo the cap, and you will notice that now we have a flow. We are going to remove after that the belt. In order to remove this belt, we have to undo this tensioner with a long wrench and the T55. You have to put it in there. I hope you can see. Somewhere in there. Come on. Something like this. It's kind of tricky with one hand, but I'm gonna try to show you. And just pull. See that? Now you can remove the belt. Now that the water is drained and the belt is out, you have to unplug the battery because we are going to take this nut, and here we have 12 volts from the battery. This is the your dash indicator. Unclip like this. These two taps, press and pull. Okay, that's out. Now we are going to undo this, I think 17 millimeter nut. Let's see. Yep, 17. You can use a smaller one, but I had this one in here. Now with a 13, after you remove the cap, use a 13 millimeter socket to remove the cable. And now we can take out the cable. See that? It's out. That's why you need to disconnect the battery. In here, on this, on this pulley that is bolted to the alternator, we have to pop the cap out. You will need a flathead screwdriver. And now we have a bolt in there, that's T50. The tool looks like this, T50. Let me try to see if I can manage with one hand. Oops. Like this. Yep. Kind of hard with one hand. Now it's working with hand without tools. And it's out. Now we have to remove the tensioner pulley completely, or just this pulley, and the same thing, pop the cap out, T50, take it out, and we have to do this work in order to have access to all the bolts for the alternator, and we might have to remove this 17 millimeter bolt from the tensioner itself if we won't have enough access to do this, to take this out. And the same problem in here, because you will have to have access to this bolt. So let's keep moving. These ones are very easy, but we have two in the back that are a little bit tight in there. And apparently we have to remove this piece completely because we don't have any kind of access to this bolt. The tensioner pulley is out, so you don't have to take this pulley, you can take it completely out. That's a 17 millimeter screw, bolt, sorry. Now we have access. Okay, I have to use my both hands. I'm going to take all the bolts, 10 millimeter bolts, and we are going in the back of the alternator. From under the car now, we have to remove two 13 millimeter bolts which are screwed on the back of the alternator, and that's going to be a little bit tricky. I've started to remove the sway bar. We have just 13mm nuts, 2 in here, 2 on this side, but I have active control on the sway bar, and I wanted to release these vacuum lines, this quick release, but are so brittle, and I almost did nothing and just snapped one. Just the cover is still in there, so I might want to leave that alone, otherwise I will have to replace the lines. Anyway, these are out, see that? Maybe we'll have more room in there because our 13mm bolts are right in there. One in there, and the second one I cannot even show you. It's a little bit deeper in there. No chance to show you, apparently. Oh, maybe now. See that? Those two. Hey, focus. Yep, now those two 13mm bolts we have to take out. So let me try to show you. So you will need a spanner like this, okay, and in here, see that, from here something like that. Oh my god, it's very hard, tricky to show you, and it's loose. And the second one, the same thing, through here onto the second one, and just a tiny little bit, and it's going to come out. And it's out after literally 1 hour. As you can see, this is the pulley bracket support, and you have 2 screws from behind in here and here. You can take this one out, but the other one won't come out because of the steering wheel pump, which is this one, and I'm gonna try to show you now. Maybe I will manage to show you. See that in there? We have one hole in here for the first one, and the second one is right in there, and through this little tiny space you have to take those out in order to have access to the last 10mm bolt on the alternator, and it's right in there. Now from top we can remove that, and alternator is out. And now after 6 bolt is out from underneath, we can try to, whoa, it's coming out. Whoa, we have some water residue, but no problem. Let's take it out. Whoa. It's kind of heavy. I'm going to use my both hands. And this is the alternator. You just have to buy a new one, replace it, and put everything back together. You've saw this method, and you have to do the reverse order in order to put everything back together and to have a working alternator. If you find this video useful, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, as usual, thumbs down. Until next time, see you later.